Is Kody Brown going to the 12 steps? That's what's driving his present. Sorry tour? Well, Janelle Brown seems to believe that. In fact, she met with her friends. She was telling them how the whole sorry thing went down and how it caught her by surprise in every way. Kody and she haven't had the best relationship in years. Suddenly, he does not feel good about what he did. And she even asked him, have you been involved in a 12-step program? Kody's repentance tour is quite interesting, and Robin Brown seems to be pushing him in a way to repent, and get back right with God. She seems to be looking this apology tour not as about Kody apologizing for the sake of what he's done, but rather confessing so that God is no longer mad at him. Robin Brown's interference and effect in this scheme also became very popular last night. And then when Kody and Christine met up, Kody was all kinds of bizarre. I mean, Guy said that he invited David. The only reason David was coming was because he asked him. And Kody made quite a few statements about how David's made comments about him and he doesn't like what David says and David doesn't know him. He also said that David was coming because he needed to respect their friendship. And he also needed to, make sure that Christine was there with a man because apparently you cannot speak to a married woman when their husband isn't around. It's officially 1854. Maybe the fact that David was there was because Christine invited him and Christine didn't want to be in the room alone with Kody, but Kody reframes the narrative and says he asked David. So Robin was very nosy and wanted to know why Kody actually was doing this. Kody has already told Robin that the reason for him to apologize is based upon the fact that he wants them to stop talking about him, right? But since he's made this statement to her, they've quickly changed their story in that it's a benevolent task from God to apologize to make it seem as though he's not doing this for the self-serving motive of damage control or trying to reframe how the public sees him. Because in no unclear terms, these apologies look shallow and hollow to the viewer, and they look like a last-stitch work by both Kody and Robin to try to reclaim the image that Kody is a good man.
Robin specifically trying to draw him back to, are you getting this from God? Are you getting a witness from God? Is just a way I believe for them to try to just paint this not about selfish goals, not about damage control, but as some sort of divine influence with God in order to, do the right thing for God, which is why they keep calling this some sort of a mission and
a journey. And it's just to me very cunning because you can't tell your wife, I'm going to go apologize so they stop talking badly about me and then it's a benevolent task from God because you're either sorry or it's damage control. It's the fact that they're able to plant these seeds already as a way to tell the audience that if Christine reacts badly to this, it's because she's not taking this seriously. She's not nice like them. She doesn't understand his watching God journey and that she just is too faithless to understand the importance of how important this is. It doesn't account for the fact that Christine knows that Kody has a past of lying, that he's a devious man that does whatever he can to get his view of the world out. She wrote about in his book how obsessed with his picture he is, how he tried to use NDAs to silence the kids, how he punished the wives if they said things that were bad about him or exposed things about him on the show by taking away resources or time with him. So she knows there's a purpose here, but he wants the listener to understand that if Christine brings that forward, it's because she's not serious and she doesn't understand and she doesn't care how serious he is. Because if he was serious, this wouldn't be happening on camera. Let's be real. Nobody does apologies like this for the sake of a camera. And the fact that you're exploiting it for a show just proves how insincere you are. That's my view. Now, Rob Janelle had some words about this situation to down that line and said, I don't want you to bring Robin because every time Kody and Janelle have fought in front of Robin, Robin gets in the middle of it, and she tries to translate for Kody, and then she somehow tries to trick Janelle into taking vocal abuse from Kody and accept it because he's just angry. He's just expressing himself. Don't leave. Don't. Go. I mean, when he was berating her in front of the fire pit outside their old house in on the Hash Knife House, McMansion, Robin was like, Janelle, stay, you know when. Kody's literally screaming at her and telling her that, he's been treated like crap and everyone is not being nice to him and he had a death-like experience and he's just going off at Janelle about the kids. And Robin just was like, no, Janelle, stay. That's not what he meant. I think Robin's seriously likes watching Kody scream at women because it gives her like a sense of satisfaction that they're getting screamed at and she's not. I don't know, honestly. But I'm liking that she put down that limit about Robin not coming. And then Janelle actually expressed that she was a little bit confused about the explanation because it was so thick. It was so over the top. It was so much she had to recover from it. And she questioned Kody and his authenticity about doing this and whether or not he was in a 12-step program, and that she would bring up a 12-step method because one step of that program is making amends and apologizing to the people for what you did when you were in your act of addiction and righting the wrongs for what you've done, right? And obviously Janelle would have experience with drinking because of her son Garrison, who dealt with drink use disorder, substance use problem, and I don't know what's going on with Kody, honestly. During that moment, his eyes were always bloodshot. He definitely looked like he was drunk on camera a lot. He would slur his words. I don't know that he's in a 12-step program, and I don't know that even if he were, he would even accept it, because I feel like if he were, he would be too proud to admit it because it's completely against their religion. And even though he says he's not religious, and even though he says that he doesn't drink, he does drink because he's always talking about how he wants to go have beer with people. And then, strangely, when he was with Christine and David, he's telling them to suck their drinks down because he's got news to share, which is weird. But the reason here of the 12-step method, it's an E. It's an interesting ad by her because I feel like it pokes a little hole into what might have been going on behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like, why would someone go to a 12-step program if, other than like Al-Anon, right? Where you're going because of a loved one, right? If you're going for a liked one, to get help for dealing with a loved one, but that wouldn't have you going out and making amends, right? 12-step is for you to make amends for what you did while you were using. And I feel like she's kind of showing something here, and like he's kind of a drunk. I don't. No, maybe that's true. I've suspected it for years. Then we move on to Christine and David, and that situation is completely ridiculous. Or he's like worrying about how Christine is going to take this, which I really find weird because he said multiple times that Christine doesn't like conflict. She's not a confrontational guy. He doesn't expect it to be a situation where she's going to yell and scream. He more expects her to just not take it seriously. Robin doesn't know whether or not it's going to be a bad thing, but she's stressing to Kody that this situation with Christine is not going to be good. It's obvious to me that Robin doesn't so much care or view Janelle as a threat. She sees Christine as a threat. And the fact that even before he walks into the scene, which by the way, none of them invited him into the situation. He called them. So you can't walk into a problem and say you're sorry to someone and expect them to apologize to you too. That's not how it works. And so for Robin to say this is a joint responsibility stresses to Kody that this isn't really your fault and you don't really have to explain. You're just doing this. So if they don't accept your apology, it's no big deal. because that's just their journey. They need to get to where they are to accept their part. Again, trying to strategically set the stage that they are better than everyone, more developed, and that Christine and her ilk are unable to accept this. When he finally meets up with Christine, though, it's so awkward, and it's obviously awkward. And she's sitting there with her husband by the way, and David throughout this process is not there because he wants to interfere in their talk. He's there for support for Christine. Christine wants him there because she doesn't trust Kody. She doesn't trust that he won't yell or get loud or be like the way he's been. The last events she's had with Kody have been verbally rude, physically scary, and I would venture even threatening with how he postured to her and screamed. He's made so many threats to her. She's there with her husband because she wants a cushion so that if something goes south, they can walk out the door. But Kody's like, no, I asked him there. It's so stupid. So, after an entire show of leading up to what this apology is going to be, he finally sits down, and it's so ridiculous.
I want to apologize for being angry about it. I want to apologize for the problems. Want you to be able to heal. And.
I feel like his ego was really there, because when she said to him, it's in the past, you could tell that he was a little bit annoyed with the fact that she didn't immediately say thank you for the apology, because really I think what she's reacting to is that Kody is saying to her, I don't think you can heal until I apologize, which, by the way, she's been gone for more than 4 years at this point. She's married, I would assume at this point. She's healed at least to a degree that it's not eating her alive on a day-to-day basis, right? She was able to find a husband. She found a partner that appears to be a really good emotional support and match and loving and kind and caring and a good dad to the kids. Even though he's not, even though everyone says he's not my dad, he does. Treat them like his children. I mean, you can't do that when you're not healed. You can't have healthy relationships when you're still healing, or if you are still reeling. And I think she's responding to the fact that, it's in the past, I don't need this apology, it's so far removed. And it's also while they're going through a custody dispute, mind you, not long after or either before she and Kody settle on the custody and the child support for Truly. So it all just feels really disingenuous, and it's obvious that her response to it wasn't what he liked. And then to say, well, if I wouldn't have screwed up, you wouldn't have gotten this, acts as though she would be incapable of achieving happiness unless he screwed up. But when she left, it wasn't because Kody screwed up. It was because she chose herself. She could have stayed with him in a horrible, miserable state, and he would have been fine with that. To this day, he would have been fine with it. Her finding David has nothing to do with Kody, and it's pretty insulting, but it's a way for him to again deflect. I apologize. Here's the huge one. 4. Saying I didn't love you, that I was angry and that wasn't cool. I used to love you. I can't imagine what's going through David's head right now. I'm like, that's look, I know. That doesn't affect me. That's you. That is on you. As soon as those words came out of his mouth, it was very obvious that Kody knew that he never should have said that, because it's incredibly insulting to her husband to say, I'm sorry that I never said I loved you, because it's something that doesn't need to be said. Everyone knew he was lying when he said it. We also knew that he was angry, and it wasn't something he said about Christine until years after she left. Right now in their current state, their issues are not about what Kody did and said about Christine. It's about how he's treating the kids. And for them to walk into a situation where they're literally just in court with him for not paying child support, for Kody to say, I'm sorry that I said I didn't love you in front of her husband, it defies logic. You can't, you just don't say that to someone you don't like, who cares, and And Christine's response, I think here, is proof that she doesn't care that he said that, because to her, whatever. He says a lot of crap that he doesn't mean. And is it relevant? Is that why she left? No. And being angry and yelling and screaming isn't why she left. He's not apologizing for what matters. He's apologizing for what he thinks matters. He's apologizing for what his kids are mad at him for saying. He's not actually apologizing for what he's done. And it's obvious he knows that he shouldn't have said it, because you just don't. You're disrespecting her current marriage. You're disrespecting her current marriage to even suggest that she needs to heal from your relationship with you in order for her to be happy when it's very clear she and David are happy. This apology has nothing to do with Christine. And then he's also annoyed that David's there because he's like, well, David wants to have a conversation and be a part of this apology, but he's not even a part of this apology, and he's not giving me an apology. You said in the beginning of this episode, Kody, that you wanted him there because you wanted to be respectful to this marriage. And yet, here you disrespect their marriage by making that comment in front of David. Now, next week, things get a little bit more heated, and David actually confronts Kody about some of this stuff, which I think is good. And I think they point out why they don't appreciate what he said, which is good. And it just further shows that Kody not getting the reaction that he wants knows why he couldn't why. We now know why he went to Janelle. Because he knew that episode would be easy for him, right? He knew that she would just be confused and respond in a confused way and need hours to kind of decompress about what happened. But she also knew that Christine wasn't gonna fall for it. And so now as a viewer, you're supposed to think that she's not taking this seriously. To me, this apology tells me that Christine isn't holding grudges here in regards to I said I didn't love you. She has valid reasons to not trust him. He has been a proven liar. He is a proven abandoner. He disrespected her. He was cruel to her kids. He neglected her kids. He neglected her. Those are all facts. That doesn't mean she's hurting over it. It doesn't mean she needs to heal over it. That's just what happened. So Janelle is are you in a 12-step program? Are you in a 12-step program, Kody? Are you finally getting treatment for your alcohol use disorder? And Christine's dude, why are you talking about this in front of my husband? What are your thoughts? Tell me in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.